So for those who are reaching out for data, for those who are trying to get hard facts that will help them to sense make around a crisis, and I know there's more than one crisis that's currently unfolding, what is your advice around how do we bring the world of imagination, of creativity, of visualizing what could be beyond what we have firm data for? How do we bring those two things together?
Well, data or evidence is not unimportant. It's critically important. And I hope that people don't make the mistake of thinking that like this is either we're using data or we're using imagination. That is like not at all what we're talking about. So trend data matters. Understanding over the long term, there are things that we'll stop short of prediction, but there are long-term changes that are clearly visible. What we're talking about today, the slow rise of advancing technologies and digital technologies in our lives and our work lives, they're clearly visible. It would take a great deal to turn them around. Those are data-based, those are fact-based changes, but they are still backward-looking, right? I mean, they tell us what's happened up to today. So my advice is to gather as much information as you can. Understand what kind of information it is. Is it information that tells you about patterns of change over the long term? That's useful. That helps you set a context. That helps you tell you about the frame of change. Is it information that you don't know what to do with? Is it a little thing that you noticed and you're like, huh, people are beginning to do more homeschooling or right, since we're on this topic. You put that aside and you say, that's interesting. Let's watch that. Let's see whether we can gather data around it. And then the third part, the part about imagination that you allude to is, well, there's an edge here, right? I don't actually know as I go further into the future how these little seeds and these long-term patterns are going to interact. So let me now bring my imagination, and those are the people who are with me, to bear and ask, okay, what if this thing that we've noticed exploded and got big? What if one of these things that we think is improbable but could happen, a global pandemic, let's say, what would we do in those circumstances? How would that change what we're looking at? So those three things are in play all the time, hopefully, when you are thinking about the future.